All right, starting lineups for the two teams. Cougars, number 2, Julia Sanchez. She's a sophomore. Number 4 is Ella Nelson, sophomore. Number 5, Truly Prater, also a sophomore. Number 10 is Jessie Beaver, a senior. And number 21, Carly Doris, a senior. Allie Stout out with an ankle injury. I think we saw her in a boot earlier today. She suffered an ankle injury in the tournament this weekend.
Hopefully it's not too serious and she can come back quickly.
I was looking for her on the bench. Oh, there she is, yeah. She's got the boot on. All right, we had number 3 for the Lions is Berggraf, Kirsten Berggraf. Number 5 is Casada, Bella Casada. Opening tip won by the Cougars, and we're underway. Beaver at the top. Being defended by number 11, that's Hall. Sanchez across to Prater into the corner for Beaver for 3. Off the top of the backboard, and loose ball rebound goes to the Lions. Trap comes by Doris and Prater. Back up top to number 11, Hall. Over to Weaver at the top. Weaver dribbles in, poked away by Sanchez. And Nelson comes away with a loose ball.
Yeah, nice hands there. Way to be active in the zone.
Beaver over to Prater. Double team comes. Number 15 is High. That's her last name.
Oh, gotcha.
Into the corner for Beaver, inside to Nelson. Nelson being tightly defended by number 20 on the block. That's Avery. And foul called on the shot.
Good dish by Nelson, finding the cutter down the lane.
Weaver charged with the first foul. Carly Doris at the line to shoot 2.
I thought maybe you had some inside information on drug testing where you had somebody that was high.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify because you seemed to perk up when I said that. I know you're real into the DEA. Doris makes both free throws. Cougars with a 2-0 lead. Ball into number 3, that's Burgraff. Knocked out of bounds by the Cougars, will stay Lions ball.
Yeah, Nelson was able to get in there and swipe it away.
Weaver into Burgraff, back to Weaver. She's able to split through the double into transition. Back to the top of the key, over to Burgraff. Picks up her dribble, back to Weaver at the top. Sanchez comes on the double. Weaver and Doris there fighting for possession. And they go to the ground. Sanchez jumps in late. And jump ball is finally awarded.
Kind of looked like when there goes to be a fumble in the football when they start piling on trying to get the ball there.
Yeah, the jump ball is to prevent the rough play, not to call it after the rough play has occurred.
Yeah.
Number 5 out to Hall. Rebound pulled down by Prater. Nelson looks up for transition, gets it to Beaver in the middle. Prater driving in, kicks it to the corner for Sanchez for 3, and she got it.
Nice job driving and then kicking. And Sanchez was set up there where she wanted to be. And
Nelson steals, can't get the shot to go, but she'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Fouled, or stolen away from number 5, Casada. That's Weaver's second foul. Number 12, Weaver, was handling the press for the Lions. That's a big second foul for the Lions. She's going to take a seat here with still 6 minutes left in the first quarter.
Looks like Maya Vestal, number 2, subbed in for her.
Ella Nelson, second free throw. Rims around and out. Rebound pulled down by number 20, Avery. Stolen away by Beaver, across to Sanchez. Pass behind her, Sanchez able to get back to it. Gets it out to Doris, resets to the top for Beaver. Over to Prater into the corner for Sanchez. Sanchez looks in for Nelson on the block, resets to Beaver. Switch across to Prater, gets it all the way over to Nelson. 3-point shot by Sanchez off the target and out of bounds on the corner, back to the Lions.
Nice job moving the ball very quickly by the Cougars there and reversed it all the way via the baseline up for a wide open 3.
Vestal inbounding for the Lions. Beaver's able to steal. Knocked away by Avery, but will be the Cougars' ball underneath. Beaver taking the inbound for the Cougars. Inside to Nelson, and Nelson gets fouled going up. She'll go to the line for 2 more free throws. Nelson a little strong on the first. Cougars have really handled really given the Lions trouble on the press. Avery gets the rebound, gets to Burgraff. Nelson Gets a hand on the ball, but rakes through the arm as well and gets called for the foul. Lions will inbound full court again. Burgraff all the way down, loses the handle on the end line, out of bounds back to the Cougars.
Yeah, they did a nice job running their press breaker that time and getting into the front court. She just lost control of it as she was going in.
Beaver ahead to Doris on the left wing. Over the top to Nelson. She's able to retrieve it into Beaver in the corner. Trap comes. Beaver tries to switch it over to Sanchez. In the short corner for Prater, and Prater gets laid out and goes down hard. She'll go to the line for 2 free throws.
She also has 2 fouls now, Malia Avery, here in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're 2 starting bigs with each with 2 fouls. I don't know how deep they go, but they do have quite a big bench. They played 10 in JV. Timeout by the Lions.
I didn't see them getting anybody else ready to come in for her yet.
Yeah, there may not be another big for them to choose.
Cougars have struggled so far. I think they've shot, is it six free throws, and I think they've only managed to make 1 of those so far.
All right, after the timeout, the Lions have the inbound.
Cougars switching it up and going to a half-court trap now.
Jenna Quaddy in the game, knocks the ball away. Quaddy subbed in for Prater. Ball into Vestal, down low for the cutting Hall, but out of play, back to the Cougars.
Yeah, Baxter really struggling with the pressure the Cougars are applying. So far, they've only taken 1, maybe 2 shots total.
Sanchez to Beaver at the top. Beaver tries to split the double with the dribble, gets bailed out with a foul call. Pressure from behind on number 21, Murray. And that's the 5th foul. Beaver too strong on the first. 4:25 is the actual time on the clock. I'm going to let the clock run. Makes the second free throw, 6-0 lead for the Cougars. Number 5, Quesada, gets it across for Burgraff. Burgraff with the left-hand dribble. Back to Quesada at the top. Over to number 21, Murray. Quesada for 3 off the back of the iron, and Ellen Nelson pulls down the rebound quickly out to Beaver. Ahead to Sanchez, gets fouled on the floor, and it's a 2-shot foul anyway.
Cougars doing a good job in transition there, pushing the ball up. Nelson did a good job of tipping that ball to herself, come down with it, and outletted it very quickly up the sideline.
Sanchez can't get the first to fall. Avery coming back in the game for the Lions. I didn't see who the second sub was. Oh, number 12, Weaver's back in the game as well, both with 2 fouls. They're just going to have to manage it. 7 points now as Sanchez makes the second free throw. Weaver into Vestal. Back to Weaver. Still in the backcourt. Able to break the press. Avery down low. Beaver reads it and steals the entry pass. All the way up to Nelson. Nelson through traffic draws the foul. And she'll go back to the line. You weren't here for the JV games, but this is quite a difference in foul calls from the JV. They basically didn't call anything in the JV game.
I saw some of it from the sideline over there
Oh,
towards
okay.
the end. Had one of our fans stop me and say how much they enjoyed our commentary last week.
Oh, nice.
So that's why I didn't make it up here before the end of the game, but I was down there watching it.
Nelson, second free throw off the side of the rim. Quaddy there for the offensive rebound. Comes up short. Nelson pulls it down. And Avery finally clears for the defense rebound for the Lions. To Weaver. Up ahead to Vestal. Sanchez blocks on the line and ball ruled just an out of bounds for the Lions. Thought they may have called a blocking foul, but Burgraff picks up a dribble, get it over to Weaver. Inside to Avery at the elbow. Into the paint, loses the handle, and Quaddy gets on the floor, but out of bounds on the end line. It will stay Lions ball. Ball inside to Avery, and she puts it in for the first basket of the game for the Lions. Cougars like to push off a made basket. Beaver to Doris. Doris with the left-handed dribble stripped away by Casada. Beaver gets it back to Nelson, into the paint, all the way across into the corner for Sanchez. Sanchez with a skip pass to the right wing for Doris. Could have been a foul there on Casada. Sanchez recovers the loose ball over to Beaver. Beaver on the right wing, back up top to Doris to reset. And timeout by the Cougars.
That was the longest offensive set that the Cougars have gotten themselves into there. So Coach wanted to take a timeout.
Prater and Lackey were at the table to check in, so they'll be in the game after the timeout. They have both groups of cheerleaders here tonight. The Baxter Springs Lions cheerleaders over here on the left side of the gym, and the Cougar cheerleaders over on the right side, wearing their Santa hats. I wonder if we might have a halftime dance today.
I would bet they do. Get one in here before the old holiday break. Last home game before we have our break.
After the timeout, there are some throw-in spots that they can choose. Let's see if they choose one of these 4 designated spots.
Nope, there we go.
Nope, they choose to go for the arbitrary spot halfway between the 28-foot line and half court. Prater on the right wing. Over to Quaddy. Into the free throw line for Nelson. Nelson tries to enter it down low for Lackey. Stole away by Avery for the Lions.
They got away with the travel.
Burgraff all the way in, and foul called on the floor. called on Beaver. That's the second team foul on the Cougars here in the quarter. Ball in to Vestal. Prater reaches in and steals the ball away. Prater all the way to the basket, soft off the glass. Beaver, offensive rebound, rolls around and out. And Burgraff pulls it down for the Lions. Picks up her dribble, though, as Beaver presses, gets it over to Vestal, and back to Burgraff to bring it up into the front court. Beaver steals it away. And Beaver floats it in for the nice extension layup. Cougars lead 9 to, oh, I guess I missed a free throw point there. It's 10-2. Ball thrown away by Burgraff, trying to find Weaver, and back to the Cougars.
It's like Nelson and Bieber take a seat.
Sanchez into the front court over to Doris. Doris at the left wing. Across for Prater. Trying to enter it into Quaddy at the elbow. Knocked away by number 11 Hall, and Avery comes away with a loose ball. Sanchez tightly defending. Avery's able to get it up to Burgraff. Gets it over to number 11 Hall. The long three-point shot. Avery comes down with a rebound and ruled on the shot. Avery will go to the line for 2 free throws. Avery, good-looking stroke, makes the first free throw.
She has all 3 of their points so far.
Off the front of the rim on the second. Vestal gets the offensive rebound and goes up with her left, can't finish. Quaddy comes away with it. Quaddy, sloppy dribble, gets it up to Sanchez. Into the corner for Prater, entered into Lackey. Lackey looking for an angle, high off the glass. Quaddy comes away with the offensive rebound. Back to Doris, trying to find a path through, and tough pass across the court. Lackey can't control it, out of bounds back to the Lions.
Yeah, a little hot pass. Couldn't secure it with one hand.
Kirsten Burgraff into the front court to Weaver. Trap comes, Doris and Sanchez. Weaver trying to fight through it, and foul called on the Cougars. That goes on Sanchez, I believe. That's the 4th team foul on the Cougars.
That'll be her 2nd foul, I believe.
18 seconds left in the first quarter. Burgraff over to Vestal. Inside to Avery, Quaddy steals, looking for an option to outlet, gets it to Sanchez. Over to Doris on the right side, 5 seconds to play. Into the corner for Sanchez, enters it into Lackey. Turnaround jumper is off the mark, and that does it for the first quarter.
Looks like Nelson and Bieber will check back in after getting a short break there at the end of the quarter.
Hope City Church is tonight's game sponsor. If you're interested in becoming a game sponsor, contact Michelle Hamlin at mhamlin@newheightschristian.edu. I'm not sure, actually. I'm supposed to have that loaded. I think I forgot to load that prompt.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if I can find it here. All right, second quarter underway. Cougars with the arrow. Sanchez into the corner for Beaver. Back up top to Sanchez. Enter to the elbow for Nelson, and Nelson puts it in off the glass. 12-3 lead for the Cougars. Berggraf picks up the dribble, gets it back to Weaver at the top. Sanchez defending. Trap comes with Beaver. Over to Berggraf. Into the corner and over the top of Hall. And out of bounds back to the Cougars. Cougars' swarming defense is really giving the Lions fits.
Yeah, they just really struggle against any type of pressure. And like I said, I think they've been minimized to only take 2 or 3 shots, and a couple of them were free throws. So
Ball into Doris. Over to Prater, entered into Nelson on the low block. Back up top to Beaver for 3. Ball deflected, and out of bounds will stay Cougars ball. 7:04 on the official clock. Beaver inbounding for the Cougars. To Sanchez, she wants the long 3, and she got it.
yeah, nice off the inbounds play, way to find Sanchez, and good looking shot there to finish it off.
Beaver steals the pass to the middle. Steps through and draws the foul. And Beaver will go to the line for 2 free throws.
I was looking up the email addresses for the people at the school. It looks like it's .org.
.org, okay. It's up on the big board, but I couldn't read it from here. Michelle did tell me that the game sponsors have already sold out for this season for basketball.
Oh, nice. That's always good. Good to have support.
Again, Hope City Church is the sponsor for tonight's game.
She traveled. She took that extra step to wind up to make the throw baseball pass. And
it ended up in the stands anyway.
We just get the ball closer.
All right, into Beaver. Over to Sanchez, entered into Nelson. Nelson fights through the triple team, gets it to Prater across the paint, and Prater puts it in off the glass.
Yeah, Prater did a really nice job sneaking in front of the Baxter Springs player.
Vestal tightly pressured by Prater, and jump ball called. And it's the Lions arrow. Berggraf deflected by Beaver. Over to Casada. Weaver with the left-handed dribble. Picks up the dribble, gets it into Avery. Avery with a tough athletic play but can't get the finish. Doris pulls down the rebound out to Sanchez. Over to Beaver on the right side. Beaver looking for an angle, steps through and gets the runner to fall. And the Cougars are running away with it, 19-3.
Yeah, it wasn't very long ago. It was 8-3, and now we've scored 11 points since their last bucket.
Weaver on the left. Beaver gets a hand on the ball, and coach wants a timeout as he's frustrated with the positioning of the girls.
Yeah, making a really, she was staying, both the other players on the front court were staying clear back away, and that makes it a really long pass instead of going and meeting the ball.
Oh, Weaver picked up her 3rd foul. I didn't even notice that. So Weaver, number 12, still with a lot of time left in the first half, has 3 fouls and is in the game because they don't feel like they have another option. She's the only one that's really been able to bring it up court for them.
Yeah, and she really hasn't been playing super aggressive defense since she had those 2 fouls. She's letting some people go around them, but still Sometimes it's just happens to be the position you're in. You can draw that foul.
Weaver into the corner for Quesada. Back up to Weaver and Burgraff. Inside to Avery, puts the dribble down. Doris strips it away. Good outlet to Prater on the run. Prater, wild shot. And Prater jumps from out of bounds.
Touches it.
And it's a ball back to the Lions. Burgraff across the timeline over to Weaver on the left side. Quesada gets trapped, back to Weaver. Burgraff into the elbow, and Prater got a little too rough, gets called for the foul. I feel like Weaver just needs to, they're trapping the corner. When the Weaver gets the ball, she just needs to shoot.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to want to take that shot out. She's been open several times.
Quesada gets it back up to Weaver, out of the corner trap. Back to Burgraff, driving in with her left. Picks up her dribble from 15. Back to Quesada for the long three off the backboard. Sanchez comes in, gets a hand on it. Burgraff comes away with the rebound. Tries to get a dribble down, but Nelson's right there to tie her up. And the Cougars have the arrow. Sub checking in the game for the Lions. That's number 11.
Yeah, Weaver will go back out now with 3 fouls.
Allie Hall in the game. Beaver over to Sanchez on the left. Into the corner. Back up top to Beaver from 15. Off the front of the rim, slapped away by Burgraff. Beaver comes away with a long rebound. Prater, baseline drive all the way across for Sanchez on the left wing.
She got away.
Nelson, gets the move in, can't get it to fall, and Avery pulls down the rebound for the Lions. Yeah, I thought the ref was signaling for a travel. He was actually signaling, anticipating a three-point shot. Burgraff over to Quesada, and she tries to find Vestal on the near side, but way over her head, out of bounds back to the Cougars. And the Lions coach wants another timeout.
Yeah, 30-second timeout.
All right, they changed it to a full timeout. Just 2 timeouts remaining for the Lions. This has been a long first half. See if we can get this zoom in on the cheerleaders. I guess they're done with their cheer already.
Yep, you missed it.
So we still have half of the second quarter left. And it feels like we're in desperation time for the Lions. Weaver on the bench with 3 fouls. Just 2 timeouts remaining for the Lions. They're going to have to figure out a way to break this smothering press of the Cougars. After the timeout, Nelson inbounding to Beaver. Hall defending, Beaver into the corner for Sanchez. 3-point shot is long as Burgraff pulls down the backside rebound. Outlet to Quesada. Gives it to Burgraff. She wants the 3-pointer. Beaver closes out to deny. Into the short corner for Vestal, and she nails the jump shot from 10 feet.
Yeah, nobody came out to contest her after they finally got the pass to her, and she was able to drain that shot.
Beaver with a quick outlet to Dora. She put the dribble down and got poked away, but Beaver is able to recover. Dribbling at the top, gets it to Nelson at the elbow. Quaddy in the paint, looking for an angle, and it's stolen away by Avery. Avery picks up her dribble at the top, gets it over to Burgraff. Doris comes on the double with Beaver. They get into the low block to Avery. Nelson and Doris defending. Doris puts her hands on the ball, and jump ball is the call. Lions have the arrow.
Third jump ball this quarter.
Julia Sanchez checking out of the game as Truly Prater checks back in. Burgraff inbounding for the Lions, looking for an option. Gets it into Avery. Avery in the paint. Kicks it to the corner for a long two for Burgraff. Off the back of the rim, Avery with the offensive rebound. Tries to go through Prater. Nelson gets a hand on the ball, and another jump ball called. Cougars this time have the arrow. Dribble handoff to Doris. Hall defending up top. Doris picks up her dribble over to Prater on the left wing. Looking for some cutting action. Reset to the top to Quaddy. Into the corner for Beaver. Beaver thought about the three as Vestal comes out to defend. Over to Doris from the top of the key for the open three. Off the front of the rim. Rebound pulled down by Avery. Casado on the left. Jogging it up into the front court. Over to Burgraff. Vestal's open down low, and she finds her off the side of the backboard or I should say off the side of the rim and backboard. She draws the foul on her offensive rebound, and Vestal will go to the line for 2 free throws. Front of the rim, back of the rim, backboard and over on the first free throw. Nelson and Doris checking out as Lackey and Sanchez check back in the game for the Cougars. Avery will get a break as number 10, Palin Sweeney checks in the game for the Lions. Second free throw by Vestal rims out. Quaddy pulls down the rebound for the Cougars. To Beaver in the middle of the court, dribbling ahead. Sanchez on the left corner. Inside to Beaver in the paint. Beaver tries to get it down low for Lackey. Looked like it could have been a foul. Lackey denied, gets the ball back, and out of bounds back to the Lions on the sideline.
Beaver was just a hair too long getting it to her. She was wide open, and then it gave them time to recoup by the time she did get it to her.
Burgraff over to Casada. Into the corner for Hall. To Burgraff from the free throw line. Lily Lackey pulls down the rebound for the Cougars. Beaver quickly ahead to Prater on the right side. Prater trying to find an angle in, loses the handle out of bounds back to the Lions.
Trying to force a little bit there sometimes. Trying to go ahead and push through when they've got a good defense. And probably should just go ahead and swing it around.
Jenna Quade checks out of the game as Doris comes back in. Avery breaks through and makes the basket and the foul.
Cougars on about a 3-minute dry spell here of points.
Take a look as Avery comes high to receive. Dribbles all the way to the basket. Third team foul of the quarter on the Cougars. Prater comes in for the rebound, but Burgraff is there to steal it away. And the Lions have it down to a 10-point lead for the Cougars. Beaver over to Sanchez, into the corner for Doris. Back to Beaver. Beaver drives into the paint, and traveling called on Beaver as she went up for the jump shot, got the ball deflected, and landed back on the ground. Quesada was deflected. Burgraff for 3 from the top. Avery and Lackey there. Avery gets the rebound, puts it back, can't get it to fall as Beaver pulls it down into transition for the Cougars. Sanchez kicks it back to Doris. Vestal comes in, and oh my goodness, how is that not a foul? Let's take a look at that on replay as Vestal falls all over Doris, and the refs both look at each other and say no foul. Lions up ahead. Doris gets a hand on it and will stay Lions ball.
I think that was the wrong direction there.
I didn't get that clock start as we were looking at the replay. Just 2 seconds left here in the half. Burgess looking for an option, gets it in. Prater touches it first, and that will do it for the first half. So Cougars led by, I think it was 19-2 at one point, wasn't it? Or 19-3?
19-3. It was 8-3, and then we went on an 11-point run and was up 19-3. And then they've just, we went into a scoring drought there about the last 4 minutes of the second quarter and allowed them to catch up.
All right, well, we'll take an audio break here. They have 8 minutes on the halftime clock. We'll send you through the first half recap and then be back for the start of the second half. All right, back just about ready to start the third quarter. We want to thank Hope City Church for sponsoring the game tonight.
Cougars have got to start the second half here by trying to get a bucket scoring. They had a 4-minute scoring drought there to end the first half and allowed Baxter to come back and pull within 10.
Yeah, 19-3, we almost fell asleep, but now it's a 10-point game. Burgraff gets it up to Weaver. Over to Hall, to the free throw line. Double team comes, and Prater gets called for the foul.
Yeah, being a little too aggressive and handsy there when trying to reach in there and get that.
Burgraff inbounds to Quesada. Back to Burgraff on the right wing. Gets to the elbow. Back to Quesada on the right wing for three. Off the back of the rim, Doris and Avery fight for it. Avery comes down with the rebound. Into the triple team, and Prater gets a hand on there for the jump ball. The arrow this time is the Cougars.
Yeah, Avery did a nice job going up and getting that board. Put it right down there where we could put a hand on it and get the jump ball.
Beaver over to Prater. Tough pass into Nelson as Quesada's right there.
Yeah, trying to force that into the high post some.
Doris resets all the way to the volleyball line. Over to Prater. Nelson winning position at the elbow. Steps through, tough shot off the glass. Gets her own rebound, and Burgrass from behind gets called for the foul. That's Burgrass's first foul.
Yeah, nobody boxed her out after she shot that, and she slipped right in and got her own rebound, and then they tried to recoup by reaching in to get the ball and cause the foul.
Sanchez in the corner for three. Nelson pushes through, knocks it out of play, and ball back to the Lions. Cougars in the full court. Into Burgraff, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Quesada back to Burgraff. Trap comes, Beaver and Doris. They're able to get it to Weaver. Weaver on the left wing looking to go baseline. Bounce pass into Avery in the paint. Nelson comes in for the rebound. Avery fighting for it. Knocked out of play and ruled Cougars ball.
Avery's doing a good job trying to go for those rebounds. Nelson just kind of mistimed her jump on that. Otherwise, she would have secured it.
Sanchez, ball screened by Nelson, knocked away by Quesada. Prater gets it to Nelson, into the paint, tough shot. Weaver on the backside, and Prater flies in, knocks it out of play, back to the Lions.
Yeah, it was a good crash on the weak side for a rebound.
Lions have everyone up on the press break. Weaver gets it into Burgraff, back to Weaver. Doris in front, up to Quesada, able to break the press. Quesada picks up the dribble. Prater gets a hand on the ball. Falls to Weaver. Weaver picks up the dribble, looking for an option. Back up top to Quesada. Quesada dribbles left, picks it up at the left wing. Dribble handoff to Burgraff. Into Avery. Avery being tightly defended by Nelson. Avery on the floor, rolls over, tries to pass it ahead. Doris outlet to Prater on the steal. And Prater draws the foul on the attack of the basket. She'll go to the line for 2 free throws.
Yeah, Avery down there probably should have been called for the traveling since she drove first and then rolled over to pass the ball. You're not supposed to roll over whenever you dive and get the ball.
Prater misses everything on the first. Makes the second free throw. And the Cougars want a timeout. 5:32 on the official clock. I'm going to let it get down to that time. In fact, let me just reset it here to 5:32 as we go into the timeout.
20-19, first point scored in the second half now.
So the Cougars are, I think, calling that timeout to adjust to the four-man up press break that the Lions have changed to. Or four across, maybe you'd call it.
Yeah, I think they call it a 1-4 press break.
1-4 press break. So all five players are in the back court for the Lions. Cougars are in a 2-2-1 sort of press. Weaver gets it into Avery. Put it off of Beaver's foot. Avery gets it back, gets it to Weaver. Weaver up ahead to Quesada. Quesada looks in, has baseline. Bounce pass into Avery in the paint. Nelson gets a hand on the ball, but gets called for the foul also. And Avery will go to the line for 2 shots. Take a look at that entry pass as Quesada has baseline, then finds Avery in the paint. Avery takes the first free throw, comes up short. Nothing but net on the second. It's a 10-point lead for the Cougars. Cougars quickly in. Beaver to the right side to Sanchez. Hall defending. Nelson comes on the ball screen. Over to Prater, one more into the corner for Beaver. Beaver from 15, jump shot is good.
Yeah, nice pump fake on the 3 and then dribbled around and found an open spot. Drained it.
Weaver gets trapped. Sanchez there for the steal. Sanchez with the empty hand. Doris gets on the floor and chucks it back to the top for Nelson to recover.
We practiced that, the chuck pass.
Prater into the corner for Beaver. Beaver tries to get through, jump stop, comes up short. Looked like it was deflected or fouled, but Avery comes away with the ball. In the backcourt, Weaver dribbling. Weaver, tough pass ahead to Hall. Hall inside to Avery, Nelson defending. And Avery puts the basket in off the glass, back to a 10-point lead. Beaver finds Doris. Doris pulls it back into the corner for Sanchez. Sanchez able to get to it all the way across for Prater. Prater dribbles in, kicks it to the ref, but he's not allowed to touch it, and out of bounds back to the Lions.
In her defense, he was wide open.
Yeah, he was in really good position for an open 3. Weaver into Hall. Lions quickly break the press. Nelson there to knock it away, and it will be Lions ball underneath. Jenna Quade checking back in the game for the Cougars as Trilly Prater takes a break. Doris running off as if she's being subbed out also.
So there's got to be 5 on there.
All right, Doris coming back onto the court. Berggraf gets it into Avery. Avery misses but gets her own rebound. Goes back up strong, too hard off the glass. Berggraf takes a shot and Nelson pulls it down. Beaver wants the baseline inside to Quade. Quade gets pushed away, gets it over to Sanchez. Doris at the elbow inside to Nelson. Nelson gets her own rebound. Loose ball goes to Quesada. Outlet to Weaver on the right side as she crosses the timeline. Weaver all the way into the elbow, kicks it back to Hall. Hall looking baseline, kicks it back to Weaver. She was a full step out of bounds, though.
Yeah.
And it's a turnover back to the Cougars.
Well, it's this small college court we play on. Sometimes it's easy to lose where you're at.
Yeah, this we did change the border to be a thinner border, which I like the look of. It seems to have the girls a little bit disoriented occasionally. Beaver pulls up from just inside the free throw line. Offensive rebound by the Cougars. And jump ball's called. Lions have the arrow.
It is nice they made the college three-point line an entirely different color now, so that way we were having some confusion on it in the past.
Yeah, and the stain is just in the high school three-point arc. Before it was all the way out to the college three, which made it a little bit more confusing. So yeah, I like the way this looks. Hall into the corner. Into Burgraff. Turns from the elbow and nails the jumper. And it's single digits, 22-14.
Yeah, everybody just kind of left her alone there on the corner.
Quesada steals. Burgraff tightly defended by Quaddy. And foul called on Quaddy.
It's the Cougars' third foul for the third quarter.
Avery is subbing out of the game as Weaver checks back in. I didn't even see Vestal check in, but Vestal's in the game. She must have checked in for Weaver just a possession ago. Burgraff over to Quesada into the corner for Hall. Back to the top as Nelson deflects. Quesada's able to get it back. Hall in the short corner, all the way across for Weaver. She wants baseline. Back up top to Burgraff. She can't handle the pass and goes out of bounds. Back to the Cougars. Beaver over to Sanchez. Hall comes on the double, back to Quaddy at the top. Over to Nelson. Dribble attack, gets it to Beaver in the corner. Back up top to Quaddy. Quaddy looking for an option, gets back to Nelson. Nelson on the right wing, across for Lackey and throws it away off the score table and out of bounds back to the Lions. So it's been an 11-3 run by the Lions after the Cougars were out to a 19-3 start. Burgraff over to Quesada, back to Burgraff at the top. Into the corner for Weaver, enter down low for Avery, and foul called on Lackey. Avery will go to the line for 2 free throws.
Nice ball movement by Baxter there. They swung it all the way around and had a nice entry as she had her man sealed and was able to take it up, draw contact. Almost got it to roll in.
Avery's first free throw again comes up short. Avery has 8 points on the night. Second free throw is too long. Nelson's there to pull down the rebound. Loses her footing, able to regain it. Nelson going coast to coast off the glass and can't get it to fall, but did draw the foul. She'll go to the line for 2.
She had that look of determination. She was going all the way.
Too strong on the first as it rattles around and out. Jessie Beaver checking in for Jenna Quaddy. Ellen Nelson with the second free throw upcoming. Nelson finds the bottom on the second, 9-point lead for the Cougars. Burgraff across to Weaver. Weaver tried to jump the pass, but good job not falling for it. Beaver then steals it away from Weaver. Sanchez to Beaver, knocked away on the entry pass to Lackey. Cougars ball underneath.
Good looking transition.
Beaver inbounding for the Cougars, all the way up to Doris at the left wing. Back to Sanchez. Sanchez driving in, goes for the runner. Lackey and Nelson try to save it, get it over to Doris for the save. Beaver on the left wing, all the way across to Sanchez. Back to Beaver, over to Doris on the left wing. Doris to Sanchez, open from the top for three, and she got it.
Big bucket there.
Back to a double-digit lead for the Cougars, 26-14. 30 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Ball into Avery, Doris deflects. Lackey steals up to Doris. Doris bounces it to Beaver, and Beaver at the basket puts it in. And a nice run for the Cougars to end the third quarter, just 15 seconds remaining. Berggraf across the timeline, picks up her dribble. Beaver and Doris tightly defending, and Doris gets called for the foul. 10 seconds remaining. That is the fifth foul. So Berggraf will go to the line for 2 free throws.
Yep.
Or do I have that wrong?
Nope. It's got 5. Should be 2
Oh,
shots.
I actually have it the wrong way on my scoreboard.
Oh, gotcha.
So it was 3 fouls on Baxter Springs and now 5 on the Cougars. Berggraf off to the right on the first. Weaver subs out with 10 seconds left. Just, I think, to try to not let her pick up a cheap fourth foul. Yeah, Avery back in the game to rebound. Berggraf misses the second. Doris gets the long rebound. 5 seconds to play. Doris from the volleyball line. Off the backboard, still time for Nelson. And she can't get it to fall. That ends the third quarter. Cougars doubled the score of the Lions, 28-14.
Yeah, finally got some buckets falling. That three-pointer then helped and got another steal and an easy bucket. But it took us a long time to get over that hump of the 20 that we had after being 19 at halftime. We finally made a free throw, but then we were stuck on 20 for a long time. They'd cut it down to 8-point deficit, Baxter did, and then we've lengthened it back out.
Again, thank you to Hope City Church, the sponsor of tonight's games. Hope City would love to have you at their Sunday service, 8 a.m., 9:30, and 11:15 a.m. And I did hear that this may be apocryphal, but I did hear that Hope City has the largest number of students attending New Heights.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
All right, fourth quarter underway. Cougars with the ball. Prater inside to Nelson. Kicks it to Sanchez. Left corner three, and she got it.
Boy, give her a good set up like that, and she's drilled several of them now.
Sanchez now with 13 points on the night. Nelson gets the steal and draws the foul on Quesada. That's just her second foul of the game. Cougars inbounding. Beaver there to Nelson. Up top to Prater. One more to Doris at the top. Doris goes between the legs. Quesada knocks it away. Doris able to retrieve it as she dribbles to Beaver to reset. Over to Sanchez on the right wing, looking inside for Nelson. Not there, gets it to Beaver at the top for three, and Beaver hits. And the Cougars have extended the lead to 20. Cougars now pressing. Timeout called by the Lions. As you can see, when Weaver's not in, the Lions really struggle to break the press.
Yeah, it went from 14 now up to 20 just that quick.
Take a look at that last basket by the Cougars as Sanchez finds Beaver for the open three from the top. The possession before We have Nelson gets it in and then kicks it across for Sanchez for the corner three. Sanchez with 13 on the night, Beaver with 12. Avery for the Lions has 8 points. All right, after the timeout, Lions inbound to Burgraff. Ball into Quesada. Prater gets a contact on her, no foul called. Quesada back to Burgraff, still in the backcourt. Finds Avery in the middle, across to Hall in the right corner. Hall tries to find a space through. Doris gets a hand on the ball, and jump ball is called. Lions have the arrow. Burgraff into the corner for Hall. Hall thought about it, gets away with the travel, and Nelson slaps it hard away into the pews. Burgraff inbounding. Tries to find Avery, but Sanchez sneaks in and steals. Ahead to Prater. Avery gets on the floor to steal. Gets it back to Quesada. Out to Vestal. Nelson does a nice job picking her up. Vestal back to Burgraff. Over to Quesada at the top. Burgraff open for three. Off the front of the rim. Nelson gets a hand on it but can't pull it in. Avery gets the rebound, tries to go up. No angle, puts the dribble down, and gets called for the travel.
Prater had the right idea down there on that give and go, just lost the handle on it and couldn't get it back to Sanchez for the finish.
Beaver over to Sanchez on the left wing. Up to Prater at the top. Cougars content to run some clock. 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Pass over to Beaver goes wild, and she loses it out of play. Back to the Lions. Burgraff to Quesada in the backcourt. Cougars still in the full court press. Quesada back to Burgraff. Trying to dribble through the triple. And 10-second violation on the Lions.
Yeah, they looked like they weren't in any hurry at all, but they hadn't made it halfway across the half court.
The look on Burgraff's face when the pass went back to her was all you needed to know. She's like, oh my goodness. She knew she was out of options. All right, the timeout is taken by the Cougars. 5:47 to play. Low-scoring game, 34 points for the Cougars. They have come in bunches. Julia Sanchez with 13 points on. Has she got 3 or 4 3-pointers?
What does she have?
Maybe she has a layup and a
layup, free throw. No, did she have? I think she had 13 points a minute ago, so I think she had 3 threes.
All right, after the timeout, Cougars back into play. Beaver dribble handoff to Prater. Into the corner for Doris, back up to Beaver on the right side. Over to Sanchez on the left wing to Nelson. Nelson in. Ball deflected out to mid-court, and Beaver's able to keep it on this half. Over to Doris on the right wing. Quesada gets handsy, able to get the steal. And traveling called as Quesada came to her feet after going to the floor to win the ball. Prater gets it into Beaver. Beaver slowing it up all the way up at the logo. Into the corner for Sanchez. Back up top to Beaver. 5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Cougars leading by 20.
Got an illegal screen by Nelson.
Ball from Beaver to Sanchez in the corner, trying to seal Sanchez's defender. Nelson gets called for the illegal screen. Foul called on the Cougars as they went aggressive. I think that's on Prater.
Yeah.
As Vestal got it to Avery to break the press. Second foul of the quarter on the Cougars.
Her third foul.
Burgraff over to Quesada. Vestal on the right side, looking inside for Avery. Doris defending, back up top to Quesada. Over to Burgraff on the left. Picks up the dribble, bounce pass into Avery. She can't handle it, and knocked out of play. Last touched by the Lions. Cougars get the ball. Cougars being deliberate about their offense here with a 20-point lead. Doris over to Sanchez at the top. Into the corner for Prater, back up top to Doris. Doris from the free throw line into the left corner for Beaver. Beaver drives in, kicks it back to Prater. One more for Sanchez in the right corner. Off the front of the rim, fight for the rebound. Burgraff's able to grab it.
Yeah, when she's rushed, it's not nearly as good of a comfortable shot for her. You can see is when she has plenty of time there when she gets a wide open three.
Vestal back up top to Quesada, over to Burgraff. Wanted the three from the left wing. Beaver denies. Back to Quesada, inside to Avery. Avery gets a step through in the paint. Can't finish as Nelson pulls down the rebound, and a lot of contact for no foul to be called. Beaver steps through the double, takes the scoop shot and draws the foul, and she'll go to the line for 2 free throws.
Yeah, Nelson aggressively ripped down that rebound, and Avery's arm was in there trying to knock it away, and just flipped her. I think it was 2 points for a takedown.
Beaver had enough spin to get that back to the rim, just a little too strong. Avery's going to sub out and get a break as Weaver checks back into the game. Weaver had those 3 early fouls, hasn't committed another foul since then. Beaver makes the second free throw, now to a 21-point lead. Weaver on the dribble with the left hand across the timeline. Beaver tightly defending. Doris comes on the trap. Back up top to Quesada. Over to Burgraff for a long 2. Off the backboard. Rebound pulled down by Beaver. Quickly out to Prater. Prater able to secure it and chuck it across to the other side of the court. Doris retrieves it and kicked across the court to Burgraff. Outlet to Quesada, too high and over the top, out of bounds on the end line, back to the Cougars.
They haven't perfected the chuck like we have.
Beaver jogs it into the front court for the Cougars. Over to Prater on the right wing. Up top to Doris. Sanchez one more into the corner for Beaver. Prater open at the top, decides to pass to Sanchez. Inside to Nelson. Nelson through traffic, and Weaver gets called for the foul as she clamped down with her arms.
Yeah, Nelson with a nice drop step to get squared back up to the backboard. Lions fans going to give Brian hate mail. He opened his mouth just about, 30 seconds ago saying she hasn't committed a foul here after picking up 3 in the first half.
Yep, that's her 4th. Cougar fans are thankful that I opened my mouth. Too strong on the second. Quesada gets the rebound for the Lions. Weaver into the corner for Vestal. Nelson tightly defending. Trap comes by Doris. Doris gets a hand on the ball. Weaver comes away with a loose ball to the basket off the backboard. Burgraff gets the offensive rebound and puts it back but can't finish. And Nelson pulls it down into transition for the Cougars. Nelson draws the foul as she goes through a couple arm checks. And she'll go to the line for 2 more free throws.
Uh-oh, that's her 5th.
Boy, you really jinxed him. I mean,
you can send out your email if you want to for the Lions fans.
Weaver did get credited with that foul, but it was clearly a foul before that.
It looked like it was the other girl, but.
Ellen Nelson good on the first. Jenna Quaddy at the table, apparently for Nelson. Second one is no good. Lackey gets the rebound, puts it back, fight for the next rebound, and players on the floor, jump ball. Cougars have the arrow. Nelson checking out as Jenna Quaddy checks in. Sanchez into Beaver. Beaver back to Sanchez in the corner for 3. Avery there for the rebound for the Lions. Pulls it down into a rip to the right side. Avery looking to go coast to coast all the way in, off the backboard. Beaver there pulls away the rebound. Beaver in a counterattack to the basket and off the glass and in. And timeout just for a substitution check for the Cougars. Beaver and Sanchez check out as Hetzel and Lawrence check in for the Cougars. Burgraff with the left hand all the way up to the top of the key. Over to Quesada. Quesada dribble handoff action to Hall. Good job denying it by Hetzel. Back to Burgraff. Looking for an option from 17 feet. Gets it back to Hall. Hall baseline drive. And Hetzel got a hand on it but called for the foul. And Hall will go to the line for 2 free throws. Hall makes the first free throw, 39-15. 1:22 to play here in the 4th quarter. Doris checking out as Truly Prater checks back in. Second free throw is short. Lawrence there for the rebound. Lawrence over to Prater, but off the mark. Turnover back to the Lions. I thought she was going to pull up and hit that 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Burgraff dribbling in. Prater picks her up. Up to Avery at the top of the key. Avery dribbles in hard off the glass. Lawrence with another rebound. Lawrence out in transition. Looks down low for Lackey. And knocked away by the Lions. Will stay Cougars ball. It was Lakin, Lawrence to Lily Lackey, knocked away by the Lions. That's called alliteration.
Just off.
Hetzel with a good shot from the short corner, but can't get it to fall as the Lions clear. Burgraff dribble handoff to Quesada. Lackey defending. Quesada, nice dribble move to get in. Bounce pass to Avery in the paint.
Oh, nice job.
And the Lions put in a nice bucket. 30 seconds to play. Truly Prater across the timeline over to Lawrence. Tries to find the entry pass to Lackey, knocked away by Hall. Burgraff gets the steal. Lackey knocks away, but Quesada's there to follow. Burgraff on the follow of Quesada's missed layup and puts it back in. Under 10 seconds to play. Down low for Lackey, and she answers with one of her own. That is probably the last basket of the game. 41-19 is our final for the girls' varsity game.
Cougars got going there in the last half of the third quarter and kept the pedal down then through the fourth and opened the game up.
All right, so we're 3 down. We are a little bit late on the schedule. That first half of the girls' game just really drug along.
Yeah, seemed like it took forever.
So they'll probably do 15 minutes for the varsity warm-up and then another 5 minutes or so for pregame introductions. So we're probably looking at
about an 8:30 start.
Yeah, 8:30, 8:35 start, somewhere in there. We'll take a few minutes to send you through the second half recap, and then we'll open up a new stream for the varsity boys game.